Today we are in beautiful Fort Lauderdale in late November. It's 85 degrees, nice and dry, light winds out of the north, and we're looking at a 2010 Lagoon 400 owner's version. This is a rare commodity, and they were at one time the biggest 40-footer that could sail. And this is why liveaboards love these boats. And this one is called The Next Thing, and it's got a lot of nice equipment and options that were put on. This boat has been all around the world, and we're going to show you some of the details right now. This yacht was docked next to a Lagoon 450, usually a much larger boat, and some visitors noticed that the freeboard is the same height as the 450, and they mistaken this boat for a 450 because it looks massive alongside the dock. And that higher freeboard gives you much more cubic space on the inside, which is what liveaboards think is the most important feature to have. Because when you move from a house to a yacht, you don't have but a fraction of the space to store all your things. So every little bit counts, and this boat gives you a lot of space. Here we are on deck, and notice that the owner has installed the updated window coverings that allow you to see out but not to see in. And this has one of the nicer trampolines. Some of these lagoons have trampolines with big wide squares that hurt your feet when you walk on them, and they get worn out by the sun within 3-4 years. But this is coated and lasts longer, is more comfortable. And in the Caribbean in the summer, my wife and I sleep up here because when you're anchored into the wind, you get an updraft, a nice cooling. Well, it's like air conditioning. If it's not going to rain that night, we love to sleep on the tramps. And this has a genuine teak tow rail, not one of those fake PVC types. It's got a new mainsail bag. And the rigging was renewed in 2022. So all of the big major dollar items have been addressed on this yacht. So you shouldn't have any major expenses. There's a bowsprit so you could launch your downwind sail on, and supplemental solar panels up here, and a full enclosure on the helm station so you can be in driving rain and stay dry. There's a silent wind generator back there, which is a nice thing to have when it's cloudy to supplement the solar panels. We're in the aft area, and the cockpit has a boat box here, which I think is a great addition. You know, you never have enough storage when you're living on the boat. And we have an enclosure for rain if you get caught in a monsoon for a few days. There's some dive tanks. And this is an AB dinghy. The charter managers tell me the AB and Highfield are the best. They last the longest. And this owner has covered it with chaps. So it extends the life of the tubes by another couple years. It's definitely worth having. There's your life raft stuck right down there. And dive tanks mounted back here. You know, lagoons have wider hulls aft than most of the other brands, and so they have more load carrying capacity than the other boats that tend to squat and not sail to their lines, because owners want to have all the latest stuff, which is solar panel arrays aft, big dinghies with 4-stroke engines, although this is a 2-stroke, which you can't buy in the US, but you can get them overseas, and they're much lighter than a 4-stroke. And everything's well organized at the helm station. Let's look at this Yanmar 40 horse diesel. Looks pretty good. There's the swim ladder, and there's your duck shower over there, kind of hiding behind the hatch. And then you got another wind generator over here. So this boat is set up to be off-grid. That is, you don't need a generator, and it doesn't have one. Although, if it was my boat, I'd probably have a little Honda 3KW as a spare. They're quiet, they're efficient, and they last forever. All right, let's just go over here. All the sail controls, running rigging leads back here, so you can do everything from this position. And you can roll the sides up to this enclosure. We leave them down when the boat's stored here just to keep it cleaner and drier. And this owner, he's very experienced, and he's added a lot of nice things. So, for example, a little thing, like when you put this flap down, there's some little quick snap hooks that snap it down. And, you know, a lot of boats don't come with these nice little things, but there's a lot of little nice afterthoughts on this catamaran. There's some more solar there, and on top of the helm station. All right. Okay, this large salon with great views is one of the reasons that live aboard cruisers love this model. And look, you can see out the windows, but remember, we had a video shot of them from the outside and you can't see in. So we have a full complement of electronics. And notice on these Lagoons, they look for ways to add more storage, which when you live on the boat makes a big difference. These isotherm fridge freezers are new in 2022, and that's good quality stuff. There's a microwave over there, and I love these Lagoon 400s. They make great liveaboards. Now, Dave, in 2022, there was a lot of new equipment put on here. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was, or?
Yes, the list is almost too long to go into detail, but it was basically what you would consider a major refit, which you discuss when you get into an older boat. All the big stuff was addressed. Engines were pulled, rebuilt, painted, sail drives were rebuilt, has new standing rigging, has upgraded running rigging. Everything of major concern and major expense has been covered or addressed or rebuilt.
Nice.
So, all, like you said, the refrigeration, that's all new. It's got recent upgrades in terms of electronics, autopilot. This boat is polished, compounded. It's pretty much ready to go.
It's got a lot of battery bank power, right? And solar panels.
Yes,
How many watts are those solar panels? You remember?
It's got 2,200 watts of solar and 1,200 amp hours of lithium.
Nice.
And with a big QUATRO inverter. So this boat will run ACs off the battery bank overnight with no generator running.
And it's got a lot of BTUs. How much was it, like 36,000 or something? Wow,
combined.
you can run everything in the whole boat.
So it has a couple smaller ones which will allow you to keep the cabins cool at night.
Yeah.
And make efficient use of what power you do have. So it's set up well for off-grid.
Excellent. Okay, well, we're just going to go down into the owner's suite and check that out. Look at that semi-walk-around island berth. Big picture window. Oh, I got to move that fender up. And we have a privacy door that slides shut if you don't want to be part of the party. If you have a bunch of party monster friends that like to stay up all night. And notice that Lagoon puts these chairs on here that have storage built into them. So, every little bit helps. And here's a hanging locker and the head. And it says out of order, suspended operations. Well, that's kind of a fake thing, because some of these outside brokers that come on the boat and show it, they, leave a deposit in the toilet. And so we put that up there so that they're not tempted to leave any gifts for us in the toilet. Okay. All right. So let's just go down on the other side, see what we find. Oh, look, here's a checklist, pre-sale checklist. Wow, this guy's organized. Turn this on, turn this off, secure this. Wow, organized. There's the electrical distribution panel. I think this was new in 2022. Flagship Marine is the air conditioner brand, and that's a good brand. Going forward, on the port side, we have a V-berth, and I believe there's an insert that goes in there so you can turn it into a big double. This is a ventilation hatch, so you can open that up, open the hatch in the forepeak, and then if you open these hatches aft, you get flow-through ventilation. So if it's raining, it doesn't really matter if it rains in that forepeak area, but you can keep the airflow going and stay cool if you want to leave the air conditioning off and be nice and cool at night. There's your escape hatch, required by European law back in those days. Semi-walk-around island berth. And a head and shower combo. There we go.